Recently, Mike from Mike's Whiskey Reviews sent me 3 samples. They're quite special samples. And I thought, well, now I have them in front of me, I might as well. I think I'm going to try them because I've been looking forward to this. And they are the Hakushu 12, the Talisker 30 at 45.8%. I had to put a new label on it because it leaked and it wiped out the label. And then this one stayed sealed. This is a 23-year-old Ardbeg bottled at 46.3%. So now that I've been looking forward to doing these, here they are this week. Okay, here's the third sample of the evening. This is the 23-year-old Ardbeg. I think it was called 20-something, but it's 23-year-old. It's 46.3% ABV. I don't know much else about it except that it was a special, some kind of special committee release. Let's be pouring this 23-year-old Ardbeg here. And this sample seems to be a bit smaller than the other two. And could that be right? No, they're about the same size. Well, there's a tiny little bit left. I'm going to put that in my Islay Infinity bottle. I might as well seal that up and see if I get anything interesting out of this. Oh. Yeah. Definitely can tell it's an Ardbeg. It has that peatiness. There's a little bit of a briny, salty note to it. A little bit of that seaweed kind of thing. In other words, it's maritime. And the peat is strong. That peat that has hints of citrus associated with it. Typically I get lime. Oh, there's something else. There's a road tar element to it as well. Bit of creosote. But wait, there's more happening here. This Ardbeg 23 has some complexity going on. Is it the oak? Am I getting something from the oak? I can't quite place it yet. I'm going to nose it for a little while longer. Maybe 10 minutes longer. And I might want to let this one sit a little while too. I'm getting what is that? Am I getting a licorice note? Am I getting something from the wood? Something spicy from the wood besides what I'm getting in the way of peat smoke and citrus. Oh, yeah, there's some tannins here. I don't know what kind of wood this was aged in. Judging by the color, there might have been some slight sherry influence. I'm getting a little bit of a just a hint of dark. There are hints of dark fruit that are really subtle here, and they just creep in a little bit and then they disappear. I got the first inkling of it in the way of a cherry. I don't know, this may need some time to open up as well. Let's check and see if we got any legs to stand on. Oh yeah. Here the primary's gone down. The secondaries are beginning to form. Secondary droplets. And slowly going down. There's one right there in the middle. I'm not going to taste this right away. I'm going to leave it for a while. It is, after all, 23 years old. And I'm going to put a cap on it. Let's put a cap on there and let it sit for a while. And let it join the other one that I have sitting there. And I will come back to both of them in a little while. Maybe I'll watch a video or two. And then I will come back and try these second and third whiskeys of the night. Okay, I'm back. It's got a little chill in the air, so I have to put something warmer on than that little sweatshirt. I think it's going to be a cold night because that baseboard heater is making all kinds of noise. Getting back to our 23-year-old Ardbeg, I'm going to see what I get now. Oh, that opened up. While I'm getting tar, and I'm getting some citrus in the form of lime and maybe a bit of lemon. I'm also picking up something that reminds me of darker fruits. It's subtle, but I think there may have been some sherry involved. Whether it was a finish or some of the casks that went into this are sherry casks. Because don't forget, it's not a single barrel. Did I look at the legs yet? Primaries come down pretty quickly, but the secondaries are slow to form. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of influences here. The peat is subtle. Yeah, it's an older peated whiskey. Every year the peat fades a little bit. There's citrus and some red fruits. Uh, could I say berries? I'm not sure. I don't think so. It's more like grapes. And there's some of that subtle tar again. Oh, gonna taste it. Mm. The the peat smoke is quite subtle. It sort of transforms itself to a lime citrus, a lime citrus. There's some slight sherry cask involvement here, but I don't believe the whole thing is matured entirely in sherry cask. There's a little bit of sherry in there. I'm sure of that. There's it's just dry now. I'm gonna have to have a second sip. I'm picking up a bit of a clay note like plasticine. No, wait. Now the peat smoke again on the nose. A little bit of that almost berry sherry cask thing going on. Huh. Every time I nose it, I get different whiffs of vanilla and a bit of tar and a bit of wood, and it just keeps changing and evolving as it reacts with the air. On the palate, once again, at first I get sherry, fruity, medium fruits, red fruits, and then when I swallow, that's when I start to get the peat on the palate. The peat comes out, and then it fades to a long finish of lime citrus, and it hangs on a while. Then I get a little bit of vanilla note from that. It's still hanging out. The peat smoke is coating my mouth from mid-palate right back down to my throat, and my throat is tingling. And it's only, 46%? 46.3%, and my throat is still tingling. And my mouth is still coated with that dryness. And yeah, let's give another sip. Wait, okay. Yeah, and once again, no doubt about it, this is very well made. Very well made. I sort of like to have a little bit more peat in my peated whiskey, but this is okay. The flavors are harder to distinguish. They're kind of annealed together, and they make sort of a harmonious whole. And this harmonious whole is very harmonious. Don't get me wrong on that. I'm going to add a little bit of, well, first of all, have a sip. Add a little bit of water and see what happens here. Okay. That's about 2 or 3 standard drops. It's not that exact. See what we got. That nose. It's beautiful. Yeah, I picked my nose, so there. It got itchy. Mm. With a couple drops of water, I'm getting more citrus and a lot more wood. I'm getting the tannins from the oak coming out and coating the tongue. You could maybe guess that the peat smoke, what little of it there was, has kind of faded with a little bit of water, but a lot more wood now. This brings the wood out. And it's not at all unpleasant. It is wonderful whiskey. Thanks again, Mike, for sending me this. This is really good. It spoils you, to have whiskey like this and then go back to the younger stuff. But yeah, this is easily as good, if not better, than the Lefroy 18. I like this a lot. Too bad there's only a little bit left, and I have a bit more of this sample, but that's going to go in my Islay Infinity bottle. I think it belongs there. just to say that there's a little bit of that extra special stuff in there. I can't get over this. There's this strength and the subtlety in the wood now that I added some water to it. This is hard to describe, where everything kind of blends together and all the components have been living together within the same cask for such a long time. This is just marvelous. Well, I thank you all if you watched this far. Thanks for joining me on this little detour on the whiskey journey. Some older whiskeys and some special whiskeys. Thanks once again, Mike, for sending these. I don't know how to repay you. I sent you a few Canadian things. But they're not in the same league as this. Slachova.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Yeah.